And we're back, and we start with a bang for once. This is it's a Ricky. It's a 0015 Homura. Together we can. At the start of your climax phase, choose one of your characters. Oh, if this is in front row, sorry. Choose one of your characters, and for the turn, that character either gets +1 or -1 level. This appears to be mandatory. Hmm.
Yeah,
But I
but you
don't
can
think
also
that's
choose back row,
needed.
so it's
Yeah, so
completely
not a big
irrelevant.
deal. When this is placed from hand to stage, pay one, clock top card your deck. If you do, search for one level 1 or lower character added to your hand. God, how long has it been since I've said that? Oh, this is an actual Ricky.
I think like Vivid Strike had an actual Ricky.
Chain Chronicle.
Vivid
Strike
Strike and
was
Chain
later.
Chronicle were freaking forever ago, dude. Like, how long ago was that? Like,
A year.
Gurren Lagann was the
Vivid
most
Strike
recent
was
one.
June.
Project Diva
Gurren
or
Lagann.
Gurren
Oh,
Lagann?
yeah,
Gurren Lagann.
Oh,
Project Diva.
Project Diva.
More recent? Okay,
No,
sure.
Gurren Lagann was later than Project Diva, but Gurren Lagann also doesn't have the exact text because it puts the stock to play.
I think that cost is better, but you know.
I don't think there's a difference. Like, there's no real
Well, this
significant
this
difference.
mills one more card, and with Gurren you know which color you're gonna clock, which is sometimes pretty valuable.
You know, but I mean, it doesn't change the fact that it's still a bit random.
Yeah, but you know what to level for example.
Nia is
You know
also
you get-
always a compression positive play for current deck.
Okay, sure. On the off chance that something really silly happens. Anyway, this is a flat A. It just searches all the cards you want, no matter what deck you're in. There's a reason these cards have are ones that you want when you open up a set and hope that it exists. And yeah, the cost is valuable, the effect is valuable, and then the additional text is not even. Hang on.
It's the worst additional text we've had in a while.
No, this insulates advanced summons. How's that not valuable? That's super
Wait,
valuable.
does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a level requirement, but it has to be in the front. So like, you protect your early play by giving up a lane.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's
which
fine.
isn't always valuable.
If you value your early play that much, then that's an option to you.
This
And
would be
that's
really
way
good.
better than most, Ricky.
Yeah, but most of the time,
doesn't that only go with like? I mean, this would only be relevant for like, let's see, it would only be relevant for the other early plays, right? Because the Psyche is not going to get anti-changed anyways.
Yep. And most
Well, I
of the
guess it
time,
could.
like most of the time, this Ricky is just 500 under spec than a vanilla Ricky. So it's
Yeah,
just
whatever.
like worse than most Rickies.
Okay, but this beats the crap out of like on attack, gives something 500 power or something like that.
Does
Which is
it?
what a lot of Ricky.
Wait.
Yes, I think it's definitely a lot better than that. Whereas this.
I don't know. I've played with
Ricky
this a
has
lot, and the effect never came up, so I'm unsure.
Well, you
don't-
also didn't know. You also didn't know that it protected early summons, so you never played for that.
I don't think I've
You would
ever
play
used
for this?
the
Like you would search
think
for this
I-
and play for it?
No,
I've
this
ever
is
used the
in
Ricky
hand,
second effect
but
yet.
I don't know. I think it's better than random additional text that does nothing except take away power in exchange for some ineffectual minor power bump. Like, I think it's significantly better than that.
I like the 2/5 Rickies more. They like gain power in either turn. But whatever. It's like still a Ricky. The effect is marked.
Wait, there are 2/5 Rickies?
The
Vivid
Project
Strike
Duo
and Miku. Vivid
Yeah.
Strike is offensive, Miku is defensive, right?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Alright,
Good
next card.
Five Forest
Madoka,
Piece.
extended hand. It's a 3/2 during your turn. For each other magic character, this gains 500, so it goes to 11/5 if you have full field. Come and play heal, and when the battle opponent of this is reversed, you if you have the gold bar in your climax zone, you can pay 3 and ditch 2 cards from your hand. If you do, clock kick that opponent and deal 3 damage to them.
Hey, it's Yukina.
This is
Yeah.
really good. Like super powerful. powerful.
Yukina is a powerful finisher, so by extension, this is a powerful finisher.
Well, I think it's probably slightly
problem
worse.
Is this because you only realistically get maybe one of this off? I mean, you could get two. I don't think you will because this doesn't cantrip. But you'll probably only get one off, and then is one of this and two normal attacks better than triple Tsuruno or Owl or whatever her name is?
Well, why do you only get one off?
Because you have to discard a lot of cards.
Do you have more ways to guarantee the? Do you have like a way to guarantee?
You have I don't think hand's the issue with multiples. I think the issue with multiples is you don't have good ways to guarantee reverses.
Yeah, but you have the
point is,
what's it called? JC Shinobu.
Sure, but like, you don't even have something like Bang Dream does, which
Bang Dream has the 2/1 Machine of Ice, which guarantees at least one reverse with Yukina. Like Madoka doesn't have anything to guarantee any reverses.
I guess you have that event. Kind of, but then that makes it pay 3 ditch 3, right? That's also not very good. Yeah.
So have we decided? Like, okay, so are we getting 2 of this off?
I think so.
Probably not.
I think you have
not
to.
Not every game, but I think like getting 2 off.
Wait, how are you getting JC off into level 3?
Because I'm not playing early plays in that deck. Or like I'm usually not feeling early plays. Also, you have like ways to dodge, for example, AOT and
I mean,
runners.
you're continuing to try field level 1s until level 3? Is that what's happening?
Basically.
The deck can have stock issues.
I guess.
Like it can have, because like it's so heavily costed, you can't play early
I don't
plays.
buy that it is as easy for this deck to deny crashes as it is for like other comparable decks like AOT or Bang Dream. Just seems way harder. Like,
I'm going to just say that,
and not even for like a better reward. You're getting the same thing or worse.
That one copy of this is worse than triple Arl or Tsuruno or whatever her name is, and 2 is clearly better. But because I think you can probably get triple Arl every game, and I'm very unconvinced you can get 2 of this every game.
Well, Owl has the problem of not digging for the CX, and this is on a bar, so you don't really need to dig for it.
The percentage chance of you getting it at the point where it matters is really not that much higher.
You can just you just keep the bar in hand when it happens to you at level 2 or whatever.
Yeah, the obvious
shot in hand for Owl.
The obvious upside for this is that
you don't get the shot in hand
on-demand healer. On-demand healer, yay! Don't have to play a CX to heal.
You don't add the shot to hand if you trigger it.
And I think that even in second deck, triggering over even how many turns do you want to count triggering? Like, I know that
like 2.
I play decks with. What if I play decks with level 2 bar combos, and I don't tend to try and keep those if I can help it. Like, I don't know how.
Did you just say decks plural? Don't you mean deck? Singular deck, little busters?
Sure, if you want. I'm sure if I thought hard enough, there'd be a level 2 bar deck that I own. I don't really want to think that hard though. Point is, without some sort of extra support, I don't think you get the combo more frequently than I'll at a significant rate. And at that point, I have to ask, is it worth playing this over just playing Arl and knowing that as long as you have the climax, you're going to get triple?
I guess you can make the argument that since Arl's yellow, and yellow is like a really bad color for Madoka, like this can make like your deck building process easier, so you don't have to worry about the yellow splash, right?
Is yellow actually that much worse? Like green it has a couple level 1s.
I mean, you have a brainstorm, right?
It doesn't really have that much else.
Yeah, yellow is like
you can use. Seems fine.
Brainstorm in the drop search.
I mean, the things you just read again. The things you look for or like consistency, and then like you know, are your opponents gonna give up reverses? And how easy is it to deny reverses? I mean, deny crashes from the opponent, etc. And you know, do you have any
It's
way to
definitely
deny
not like
backups and
really.
events?
It's not really difficult to deny crashes.
I don't buy
Like
that
that's
at
not
all.
the
Actually,
problem.
I actually don't buy that at all. I don't buy. I really don't see how like are how many
guess
level ones are you running that you're gonna just draw into the tri-field level 1 at the perfect time all the time? Like how is it happening?
You bounce
You need
the
all level
ones.
ones, right?
Yeah,
But you
you have
don't run more level 1s than you do even like level 3s or level 0s.
the Ricky counts
right?
as a level 1 if it crashes in. Like if you win lanes.
Are
By
you
the way,
winning lanes without
how
an
do
early
you?
play? You just said you're not playing early play in this deck.
That's what I'm talking about. Like if you give up lanes, you automatically need less characters, and you're automatically losing lanes to like have the reverses.
Right, but then you're like giving up damage economy just
you
like
falling.
sure.
Yeah, but that's
like
different.
do
It's
you
different
attack with
from
5? Okay, then the
denying
question is do you play really weak characters that will let you crash into whatever on offense? If your opponent decides that they don't want to let you crash.
Well, if they don't want to let me crash, you can field level 1s to each other.
Then you're searching for those cards instead of like this.
That's not really that big a deal. You only need
I think
2
it
of
is.
this.
The other decks can deny reverses with like as part of their like they just do it, right?
They don't like AOT just does it.
Yes, AOT
Bang
does
Dream
it.
obviously has
So
to
does
play cards.
so does
to do
Bang
it.
Dream because getting
Bang Dream-
that global is extremely easy. You
Madoka-
can't even compare. You cannot even compare the ease, right?
To be fair, Madoka can actually deny AOT in Bang Dream with the Homer early play. So that's something.
That's not relevant at all.
Why is it not relevant?
Right
I don't
now,
get it.
the match. We're not talking about the head-to-head. What?
No, but it's relevant if you look at the whole picture. Like runners don't count as outs.
So
You can't crash a lane and then use a runner. That doesn't work. The opponent still gets double off. You need to either crash 2 lanes, which is really difficult against.
So you're
deck.
getting double with while playing 3 level 3s? Is that what's happening here?
Why would you play a 3rd level 3?
You just said you're getting double with the home run. Early play, right? You just said you're not playing early plays. I don't understand what you're saying. You're changing the moving the goalposts, man.
No. You're changing the goalposts.
Okay, the Homer early play condition needs a specific card and clock, and I don't think he plays the card that you have to clock to early play it. So you just
That's what I'm
play it
saying.
for the
So that's what
cantrip.
I'm asking. Like, are you playing 3 level 3s with double? If you're gonna take
Yeah,
advantage of that effect, you're playing
Yeah.
the Homer play.
You
You just said you're not though.
The 0/0 that puts itself to stock, and the 3/2 cantrip. So it doesn't like the resources work out, and you only play that in specific matchups, anyways, where it actually does something.
Sure, but it's not like I don't consider that an actual strength. Like it's not a consistent strength for the card for the spell.
Why
right?
other decks don't have this?
Do you actually have the stock to even do double if you play three level 3s? Like
You're not running the Goro, right?
Don't you have to be brainstorming a lot
So
because
you have
Madoka
that.
doesn't have no,
I mean, that's just
and then
more
you have
hand,
to be
right?
using J.
Like
you have to be using
do.
Jason.
You need hand and stock for this stuff, man.
You have enough hand in stock. You have 8 plussing triggers.
You're like hand waving this away, man. And all I'm saying is, bottom line, this is not as good as it is in like would be in other decks that can deny reverses or deny crashes. That's just.
I think this deck. No, I think that's not actually the problem with this card. You don't realize like. I think you haven't played with this card and you don't realize that the actual problem is getting over characters, not denying reverses. Denying reverse isn't the problem. The problem is getting this card big enough to like actually be counter safe.
I mean, that's an additional problem then. Oh, I'm just saying there's
there's
definitely deficiency here compared to these other decks. It's undeniable. It's just true.
Right. That's you guys have been catfighting for like 5 minutes now. I'm just going to interject and ask. Please answer this question. is getting 2 of this realistic against most decks? If the answer is no, then I think we play Suruno instead, the Owl.
I
Then
think getting 2 of this depends on like the meta, right?
okay, so it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed.
That's all I need to hear. And because of that, I think that the standard that you look at is 1. And if that's the case, I don't think it's better than triple Owl.
I don't think you can say it like that the standard is 1 just because it's unsure if you get 2.
The standard is 1 because that's the baseline, and getting 2 is going to be difficult unless your entire metagame is potatoes.
I don't think so.
Please tell me.
But
give
the
me a
problem
list of decks
is
where
Well,
you will
the problem
reliably
is
get
that like
multiples.
Before we get into another cat fight, I don't know, man.
Because you're saying that I'm being unsure about this, but in reality, you're the one sitting on the fence, and you're not telling me what sort of decks can you reliably get double against. Are these decks prominent?
Okay, so let's go down the tier list. Against LB, you can get double. Against rewrite, you don't get double usually because rewrite is just too big.
Can you get double against LB? You can't stop money.
Against LB, you just clock kick. It's not damage. It's just a clock kick.
It's okay, sure. You get 1 and a clock kick. Against Lover, you also get 1 and a clock kick. Milky Holmes is too big. Attack on Titan, you get 2. Gochiusa, you get 2. Sunshine, you get 2. ReZero depends on if they have Reinhardt or if they got bad enough.
I don't think
Madoka,
I don't think you need Reinhardt. They can just play level 3s and then
You
you
get
can't
2
get
against
over them.
Sunshine? How is that possible?
with the well, how big are you in Sunshine? You're 14-5, right?
Well, you can't kill the Chica, that's for sure.
You clock kick the Yo. You attack the Yo
Clock kick
first.
the
You
Yo
clock
and the
kick it.
Chica loses power.
Yeah.
I mean, you clock 1, sure.
Like,
There's usually multiple Yos on the field, and I don't.
yeah,
I
but
don't
if
need
there's 2 Yos, you just kill
I
both
mean,
Yos.
you
I don't
can't-
see the problem. You double combo against Sunshine.
Okay, sure.
Then let's move.
If they have the Yo in the back, then you're not getting the Chica, I don't think. Right.
Yeah, nice play.
It's a common play.
I mean, them standbying a Yo into the back is not uncommon.
That's like the play if they hit a standby at 2 or 3.
Yeah, but then you need to have 2 Chicas in front row, or like a Chica and a
Sure,
Yo.
that's totally possible. I mean, like, you wouldn't do it against this deck if you were playing against Magia
Or
Record?
they
Like,
just
are you going to be potato?
They could have run in Amari and they might have bounced back.
Sure, like, are you going to be a potato? Are you assuming the opponent's like a potato and they're going to play into whatever
Like
superior game plan?
I don't think it's reasonable to assume that you're going to get double, and I do not think, like I absolutely do not think, that we can treat double as something that you're going to consistently get, and that is why I can't take double as the thing that you should be aiming towards. Now you compare it to say like Gochiusa, where a lot of people weren't going for triple, but in my experience, triple was very doable. Because 1, you don't need the reverse, and 2, you just need to not use your resource at 2. That's why I pressed for triple Cocochino in that deck, as opposed to double, which most people are doing. Here, because you have so many things you need to rely on, I'm not convinced that you can get a double consistently. And that's
you get
why
double
I'm
against Bang Dream, double against Konosuba, double against Diva. Like, there's enough decks that you can get double against that I don't think you can just say you're not getting double.
I mean, you just...
think I can. Unless you can get it against like every single deck as a result of your own actions, I don't think you can say that. Like, I really don't think you can say that.
I don't really buy how you can ditch on this card and then defend the 3-2 Rin from Little Busters.
The 3-2 Rin draws 2 and ditches 1. That's all I play it for. I have never considered
I know
that
Tom
combo
has
to be good.
been saying that has been
Why
defending
is
the
this
card.
even? Why is this even being brought up?
Why
This is like so off topic.
That up?
We're like
I've
way
never
out into the
defended
weeds.
that card.
It's also a reverse combo.
You're trying to bring this up in an attempt to like like, what is this for? Come on, man. Let's just move
This
on.
is an attempt to like show you the hypocrisy that you can't just like go from
What
it's alright
hypocrisy?
in this
I've
set.
never-
Man, life isn't the classroom. Come on.
Firstly, my issue isn't with a single reverse. I think that's very doable. It's with a double. I've never considered double Rin to be something I've ever wanted to do. And hell, even single Rin is not something I really I even care about. What I care about is a draw 2 ditch 1. This card does not do that. This card is a finisher, plain and simple. That is not what Rin is. This is purely a finisher with a heal attached. And as such, I am judging it on its finisher merits. My judgment of Rin as a finisher, the 3-2 LB card for people listening, is that it sucks. It's not a good finisher. If I can get triple, then sure, it's a good finisher, but that never happens. I'm realistic about that. I want to know how you can say double for this is the standard by which you judge it, when I don't think that's going to be consistent. Because all
No,
that needs
what
to
I'm
happen is
saying, what I'm saying is, I don't think you should judge it by the standard of 1, and you shouldn't judge it by the standard of 2. I'm saying you should think about what you're likely to play against, and then judge whether or not
I am
you
giving
think you
this
can
card
pull
an
off
A
double or not.
minus, even with one reverse. Do you think that I think this card is bad?
No.
So
I think
what are you
I just
trying
think.
to
Well,
tell
I don't
me?
think I don't really have a problem with your. I think Tom is being really unfair on the card.
I'm not being unfair to the card.
I
gave it a B
I
minus.
But I
I gave
think
it a
you're
B
legitimately
unfair on the
plus.
card.
What?
I legitimately think that double Madoka is not realistic against everything. Like that, I just
Yeah, it's
don't
not
think that's
it's not
going to happen.
realistic against everything.
And that is enough for me to say that double should not be the standard.
Yeah,
Because
double
it
shouldn't be
doesn't.
the standard. Just I don't think single should like be the thing to just evaluate it by either. You should
I
evaluate it by whatever you think is applicable for your situation.
which is going to be single a lot of the time. All that needs to happen is either your game does not go perfectly, or your opponent's playing a deck that can deny these reverses, or your opponent's playing a deck that can deny these reverses in advance, or you need to not have the bar, and all of these things go down the drain. Like I could talk about all of this, but I'm not. Like I'm still evaluating it as if you get it every game, but you only get one because that's what happens when you play against people who are prepared, and not every meta can be defined like that. There are going to be decks that just stop you from doing things like this. There are going to be times when you don't have the resource to get to. So single, I think, is a very reasonable evaluation. I'm still giving it an A minus. I think it's slightly worse than the Arl, but I still think it's a fine card.
Whatever, let's move on.
Yeah. All right, next card, Madoka, news story. This is notable because it's a clock target for an advanced summon later.
Yeah,
But
here it is.
The Homura that we just talked about.
Yeah.
sure. So in addition to that, this is when it comes to play, you get plus 500 for every magic character you have, and then when the battle opponent this is reversed, mill a card. If it's a character with the same name as character on stage, put that card into your stock.
This is also rebellion power creep.
I don't know what card you're referring to, but I'll trust you on that.
There's a 1/0 Madoka, which is 500 on play, 500 for every other.
Oh, you mean that effect? Yeah.
But that card is 500 bigger than this.
I think the chance to +1 stock is more valuable than the 500 power.
You +1 stock, like I think it's like 20-ish% of the time, even if you like build your deck to maximize this.
Sure. So
It's cool that this also works on like if the opponent crashes into it, but this is just 4/5. Like I've tried to play with this card mostly because it's the early play condition, but it's just never really been decent.
I think this card is just to come and play assassin thingy,
Something
like
okay.
The thingy Kirito.
And it mills one card.
Yeah. But that's what you mainly do it for. You don't think of it as a stock charge engine. You don't think of it as much else, and it's fine.
Well,
Like,
and
it's
you also
sometimes
think of
you
it
can
as the early
stock,
play
right?
condition.
So
You also think of it as the early play condition.
sure. So you can clock it to play the Homura we're going to talk about in a bit. It's fine. I don't think it's anything super broken or special or anything. It's fine. I would rate it a bit above the other assassins that we talked about simply because of that second effect. Because it's just basically for free. It's tacked on. There's no issue with it. Anyone else got anything to add about it? If not, let's move on. Okay, next card is Promise Sworn to be Fulfilled. Homer. It's a 1/0. It's a 4/5. If you have two other magic characters, gains 1k, so it's a 5/5 basically always. And here's the interesting part. At the start of the attack phase, so both players' attack phases, if all the characters in your front row are the same level, then this gains 1k power and the following ability. When your other magic character is front attacked, you may pay 1 and sack this. If you do, bounce that character to hand. So this is the 1/0 that Solon B was referring to when it was talking about denying reverse stuff. This is what we refer to as JC Shinobu for Joshi Kosei or whatever, as in middle school Shinobu. This is a field counter of sorts that bounces back, and if it's in the front row, it means that it is effectively a plus if that card was going to get reversed. This is an extremely powerful effect on a card that you actually want to have in your front row, because previous iterations of this card are usually low power level zeros, which give up a row without any sort of fuss. But this one is actually at a defensible power level, and it has the same effect. So I think it's a fairly powerful card. It means your opponent has to split their offenses on taking down other things. Otherwise, your opponent is just going to bounce them. And even if they do split their offenses, then your opponent can bounce them.
It is just a 6/5 on its own.
Yes, it's 6/5.
So they actually need to put power there to contest this.
Yeah. So
but I just lose the lane to this.
I feel like this might be the best non-archetypal card, like the best non-Ricky type card in the set, and I don't think I'm evaluating it.
Well, the level 3s are pretty good, like both like the Ala and the Madoka.
Sure, but you can play other sets with that sort of effect, whereas you can't really find this anywhere else.
The Ala and the Madoka actually don't exist elsewhere, so.
Well, I mean, Aal and Madoka are effectively Aal and Yukino.
Sure, but like they're similar.
I think Cyrano is different enough from Marl. That the heal really changes, like how good that card is. I think, but I mean, this is still like a pretty unique, very powerful card for Madoka anyway. So,
like this card has like a really big issue where. And once you hit level 2, unless you give up damage economy and don't play early plays, you're just never going to get the JC
But it's so
effect
powerful
off.
level 1, right? That's like the reason you put this card in your deck. It's so good at level 1.
It's insanely powerful at level 1. It's just It
often just denies multiple reverses.
It doesn't even need to be like you don't even need to be denying reverses for this card to be good. It's just straight up like it's awesome. Like you could make the same argument for like JC, right? Like it's really hard. No. Regular JC, because regular JC you need like past level 1. It's also pretty hard to get the value on that card.
Past level 1 with regular JC, you just normally toss it in the back.
And at which point it's not a plus, right? This is always almost always.
And at that point, it's like kind of like it's like a cost.
And you can also, counter, by the way, you can also back row this at level 3. And still use the effect.
Yes. Yeah. If all your characters are level 3, like
if all your characters are level 3, yeah. And like the mid game at level 2, when you're trying to like use this ability to deny reverses, it can be challenging for the deck.
It also depends on the deck. Like if you're running the standby thing, this is obviously a lot less like useful.
Well, like even if like you're playing this with like the book combo, it's like the card that like. One of the good cards to bounce back at level 1. You have that issue where that deck wants to be playing the Sayaka 3/2.
I'm not even sure if the deck really wants the Sayaka. Just makes it easy for the opponent to crash. Like you use the Sayaka 3/2 to sometimes like kill cards and then win lanes, but I think those are different games than the ones where you want. Like the games where you want to use this in are like decks that go game just like try to farm and then at the end crash into you to like not die from 2-0 or 3-0, 2-6 or 3-0 or whatever, while they still build their resources for their finishing turn. That's where you use this in the mid game, and then like in other scenarios, you try to use the Sayaka if you're sure that she can survive, because you also can't put Sayaka because the backup thing goes both ways.
Okay.
It's a good card.
Yes. Next card.
Alright, next card is Konoha Shizumi. When this attacks, if you have the gold bag in your climax zone, this gains 1k and the ability on reverse. Choose up to one Hazuki Yusa and one Ayame Mikuri and put them in your stock in any order.
Where are they? Are these vanillas?
Oh, God.
No, they're
Are these like shitty cards?
no. The one of them is the one that pay one Sakit to look at top 4, and the other one. What's the other one? Is it a 1/1?
49
Uh,
and 41.
it's the
Isn't it the 1/0 that pumps something for 1500? It can't side attack.
It's this one, yeah. CIP pump 15 can't side attack. It's a 1/0.
Yeah. This is
Meh.
not very good.
It's yeah. Also
Gotta
gold
play-
bag, which feels bad, but the
gotta
majority
play
you have to pay
bad
like pretty
cards.
bad cards. Well,
you have
not
the
bad
really
cards.
bad cards.
They're just like
You have to
mediocre
play-
cards with like little reason to be in the deck. I think, other than being stock charge
charge
fodder
memes.
for this card. So
I mean the pay one Sakit look at 4 is
it's
alright.
okay,
since
but
you don't
like,
have- Japan is playing that a lot.
this
Yeah,
combo.
well,
I mean, no,
No,
the 0-0.
0/0.
Oh, that's
'cause it
fair.
gives-
That card is
it-
like
Four.
runnable,
gives-
but like I think the 1/0 is also
Mill
problematic.
4.
Like,
Yeah, the 1/0 is pretty terrible.
The
Mill
zeros,
4.
it's controlled mill, which is what this deck needs. So it makes sense that they play it, right?
I mean, this is just like a climax slot and another level 1 that you don't want to run. So
Speaking of level 1s you don't want to run because you have to run other thingies, the next card is Tsukuyo Amane. When it's reversed, its battle opponent, if you have the green split 2k2 soul in your climax zone, check the top card of your deck. If it's a magic character, add it to your hand. Then choose level 1 or lower character in your opponent's back row. That character does not stand during your opponent's stand phase. So this is like an
ooh,
anti-brainstorm sort of thing. You stop their brainstorm from untapping, and that brainstorm probably won't be doing much the next turn.
Dude, this is anti-Milky. Except you need to
Wow.
reverse.
except
So
you need to
it's not actually-
reverse,
It's not
Wow.
actually anti.
and you only get power in 2 lanes. So nice
Yeah,
try.
it's pretty terrible. This card doesn't have text. It's a 1/05k vanilla and it's still playable. Because you need it for a really good card.
You have to play a 5k
Combo
vanilla
still
Very
pluses you.
bad card.
No, like
Yeah.
you never think about the combo. Like the combo is actually just really bad.
Yeah, I guess we'll get to that card later.
Yeah. But I think people
The
have
value
been
on
sleeping on this card because this card sucks.
the value on the anti-brainstorm effect is like pretty variable, so it's not always certain as to whether
Yeah.
that effect will actually do anything.
Yeah.
I think
It being 2k2 soul is nice.
that's like the best part about this card, I think.
Yeah.
But otherwise, meh. Pretty
Shame
whatever
this
combo.
is so shit. Like if it was a decent combo, I think this would be pretty cool. Like a somewhat decent combo.
Yeah.
If it was like Surge and the opponent doesn't stand, or
That'd be
check
That'd be-
4,
real.
or
Both of those would be
or-
really good.
check 4. Yeah, check 4, and you don't get the plus 2k, but do the not standing thing, whatever. Still worse than Minami, but like then this card would be pretty good.
Next card.
Level X, and when something
Oh, okay.
else gets reversed, you pump 1k.
Madoka
So
potential as magical girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
What cell it set? Level assist
Uh,
and like a Avenger power thing.
Yeah,
Mm,
it has really good art, and it's
Mm.
also kind of not very good.
just
It feels bad.
just
You can-
your friendly
you can-
neighborhood level assist.
You can
Yeah.
use this with the 3/2 Madoka as like
Yeah,
as
That's
your power
great.
bomb.
you use the 0/0 from trial deck, pump 1500 on attack, and then you crash that in and pump 1k with this.
Sure.
But it's
Uh,
I think it's usually still worse than the yellow. Just give straight up 2k.
yeah, that sounds about right. Next card then. Homura, new story. 3/2 9K. This is an early play if you have the 1/0
The
stock
1/0
charging
stock
Madoka
charge.
we covered
Yeah.
earlier. If that's in your clock, it's -1 level in hand. Gets 5 for every magic character, and on play you check the top 3, add one of them to your hand, and put the rest away room. And the most interesting line of text on this card, which is during any attack phase, no characters can move to another slot. So
It shuts off the 2/1
obvious
event.
counter to Attack on Titan.
It shuts off your 2/1 event. This card sucks.
Wait, what?
Yeah, basically-
Which 2 in event?
The
The one
bounce
where you
move.
move a character.
Oh, I see.
No, but
Wow, what
no,
a
but then
non-bo.
you know that the moving is forced. So this actually just makes it a 2/1 bounce event. Broken.
Broken. Wow, a 2/1 bounce
Uh,
event. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I love paying. Okay, it's an interesting bit of text. It's like it obviously just completely hoses some AOT and Bang Dream board states.
Like even
But-
just random decks that crash in a lane and put a runner there. And then
Yeah, it
attack.
completely shuts down all
as
runners.
as you
runner
mentioned,
play.
it shuts down runner the ability for runners to deny on reverse finishers if
And you
if
also
they're
you,
playing
you
for
kind
that.
of want to run this anyways because you're actually the card that digs for the most cards in all
Yeah.
of Madoka.
Sure.
This is the best cantrip in all of Madoka. And the Madoka is also like potentially a heavy like event deck. So like this can be used to actually find specific events like the cancel burn event or something like that.
Also counters field swappers, of which there aren't too many that are too common, but they still are
Just
played in some
LB,
decks.
basically.
LB, yeah.
Some Monogatari lists.
Some decks you'll see cards like
Yeah.
that. Did we cover everything? Runners, field swappers, mover cards. I think that's it. Solid card, honestly. It's a cantripping early play,
Flavor.
so yeah,
It
it's
also has
also
flavor. The foil looks good. So
Yeah.
solid card.
I think the condition's kind of bad, but
Yeah, the condition sucks. It's not really a good value.
I think the card is fine enough to run as an early play, and then if it happens to do work in your meta, then that's just gravy. That's like a nice bonus you get out of running this card.
Yeah.
Next card.
I think Alfred died.
Yeah, I guess so. Light that continues to shine, Madoka, 0/0 2K. On play, ditch a climax, salvage a magic character. This is
You
fine.
play this because it's your best ditch out.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
your
it's
only
not a
real
bad thing.
free ditch out.
It's not a bad thing. This is a
I've
pretty
been
solid
liking,
profile.
I've been liking this profile a lot more lately as like a tech one in most of my decks. Just
I think I'm even playing too.
costless stitch out for your CXs is pretty good.
Works pretty well with gold bar and pants triggers, of which there are pretty good combos in the set.
Well, not with pants, but with bar.
Yeah. Oh, not with pants. That's right. Yeah, solid card.
I'm
Madoka
even
did not
playing
have
it
something like this
in
before.
like a
I think.
not bar build. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just a solid card.
Yeah.
Why not run it? Right, on to the next card. Nanaka Tokiwa, 0/0 2K. Oh, it's one of these cards. When this is placed on hand to from hand to stage, choose an opponent's character, set its memory, and that opponent will immediately put that character from memory into any second stage. So we saw a card like this in Frank's, except that card removed the card for the turn. This does not do that, but it also doesn't cost anything.
Yeah,
And-
the card from Franks is a really terrible cost.
And
Yes.
anti-Hina
GX.
logic.
This
This card
is
was
an
printed
anti-Hina
solely
logic
to
card.
target Hina logic.
This also will
Well,
counter
it hits any
Neg Soul.
marker thing.
It also
and
counters
minus
Neg
two-
Soul.
Yeah,
Um,
-2 soul.
there were some interesting things to talk about with the Franks card regarding like damage economy and like how whether discarding a climax is worth it because of the soul or whatever. There's none of these considerations for this card. This card is solely existing to counter specific decks that may be in your meta. The fact that this does literally nothing else is pretty bad, I think, for the card.
But if your meta is like minus
I
soul
mean,
for Hina logic, then
Like, this
this
is
card's a
literally
godsend.
worse than a vanilla if it doesn't do anything in your meta.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just say
This would be
Kinda
a very
sucks.
good sideboard card if I said sideboard.
sure.
Yeah, best of
It's a
three sideboard.
D
This card's great.
unless you literally have like 90% Hina logic in your meta, in which case it becomes
It's S for
A
sideboard.
plus plus plus. Yeah, nice art. Next card. I am a Mikuri, 0/0/2500 power character. You can sack this and pay 1 to look at the top 4 cards, up to the top 4 cards of your deck, and search for a magic character, reveal it, add it to your hand, and dump the rest into waiting room. This is part of that stock charge combo, but I think this card is fine on its own.
Yeah, we've
Pretty
said it
fine.
before. Madoka has really bad mill options, and this gives you like a really good, not really good. It gives you a somewhat good controlled mill option, right?
What other milling cards do you have, like, besides this
The
card?
global mill 2,
And the 2/5
beater
that
mill
mills
2,
Yeah.
the
that's
the on reverse Rize,
That doesn't
Amagi.
count. Those are all mono yellow though, so those
Yeah.
don't actually count.
And this doesn't have any like name, power, or color conditions, so like you can have any build and just throw this in, and it does the job.
You can use this with QV.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like the neat part.
Yeah, solid card. Not much else to say, I think. It is of
Interestingly enough, I think Japan doesn't run this with QA.
do they rewind the
They just
QB at
run
all?
it
I mean, do
straight
they
up.
just Oh, I see.
I
They just don't run QB.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I
just
haven't
Cube.
seen any lists with Cube. They all prefer like the yellow 4K.
Which is weird
Fair
because
enough.
QB went up a lot in price before the set.
Speculation.
Hype buying. Hype buying.
Okay. Next card. Stands towards art. Alina. This is a 2500 power anti-change backup, and the cost is Ditch 2. Typically,
Ditch 2
this
is-
cost sucks unless the deck is makes
Ditch
up
2
for the deficiency.
Yeah. Ditch 2 is good if you have literally no hand problems ever.
Or if your deck doesn't care about hand, but those
I
are pretty
think
rare.
that the standby deck theoretically could play this, but I think the set counter is still just better.
Right,
Yeah,
and there's a
sure.
sack counter. Oh, this is totally outclassed, I think, in like almost every circumstance.
Because even the standby deck that usually has goes off, your selection isn't that great, and you still want a lot of specific cards at level 3. So it just doesn't really
Right.
work out.
I don't remember what we gave other cards like this. Maybe it's like a D+. That sounds fair. Yeah. There's that counter. Run that instead. Next card. Tsukasa Amane. 2/1, 7500 power character. On play. Oh, if there are this is a free fresh on play. If you have 5 or fewer cards in your deck, and if you do that, you can also choose a Tsukuyo Amane in your clock and put it into your stock. So that was the combo earlier, right? They're
The 1/0.
sisters or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, the 1-0.
The 1/0 5K vanilla.
So this okay, I see. Wow.
So I've played with this. I think I'm like one of the 5 people in the world that actually played with this, and I think
Okay.
people really underestimated this card because it's also just like the 2K power on the Homura is really irrelevant most of the time. So this is just the home run most of the time, and then has like
How
pretty huge
many of the
upside
1-0
sometimes.
do you have to run?
I was running 2, but I was also running a shift package.
And how often
Um,
did you get this?
like
When you free fresh, did you get the 1-0 in your clock all the time or what?
not all the time, but like good more than 50% of the time.
You have to commit so many deck spaces just to get this to work. And you can just play the Homer from set 1 and
It's
not have
2
to worry
extra
about
deck
your deck
spaces.
building.
It's 2 extra deck
Well,
spaces. The upside is really big.
I mean, you
I
say
mean, the
it's 2,
upside is
but
1 stock, right? No, it's a heal. It's a heal.
the
It's like a
heal,
double heal.
It's a heal and a
you
stop.
say you say it's 2 extra, but like you had to play the shift package to help it like bump up the consistency to make
And you
it
have to
work
clock
right.
it
So
too,
it's
right? Either you
I'm not
clock it
sure.
or you shift it in there. I
you can
guess.
shift
Yeah.
it. So like it's technically more than 2 extra deck
I'm not
spaces.
sure if the shift stuff was worth it in the end, because like usually you just clock the 1-0. Because like the shift stuff only helps if you clock into the 1-0, which is not that high percent. Because I didn't like if shift triggered at another point at like any time during the main phase, it would be a lot better.
Um,
But it doesn't.
if the
It just
power
triggers
doesn't
at the start
matter,
of the main
then I
phase.
think this is probably fine to run. Like even if you don't get the 1-0, you still free fresh, which is
Yeah.
fine in and of itself. Just depends how much you value that 2K power. I think from the the old
Well,
home run
it's
feature.
also
I
like
think
you also need 2 slots. So I think
yeah,
if
I
you're
think
running standby,
I
it's
think
kind of difficult.
I think the evaluation comes on the deck space more than the 2K power.
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna give up the extra deck space to pay the
Sure,
1-0 to
of
make this
course.
a better
I
refresh?
think this upside is really powerful. Like I think this only is like you'd only like. It is so ridiculous. Like if you look at this on paper, and you get the 1-0, in your clock.
Yeah, it's
Right.
like a 0 cost heal too.
Yeah, it's like the zero no zero no
Or
Suprema,
it's
or it's like the
it's a-
jewel. It's like the gem free fresh, except you don't need to like minus a shitload. Right.
You also or like if you clock it, basically like a +1
Yeah.
for 0 stock.
I think it's worthwhile payoff, honestly. As awful as the 1-0 is.
Yeah, the 1-0 is a 5k vanilla.
Yeah.
But like 5k vanillas can actually attack, and you don't really want to play that card anyways because you keep it in hand. So
Sure. Solid card. It's a good free fresh, I think. Next card. Zero Natsuki Utsuho. 0/0 500 power card. This is an assist for 500 power in front, and pay 2 tap to draw a card. This is pretty whatever.
It dies to Kaiki. 0 out of 10 card.
This doesn't have. What's his name? What's his name?
this doesn't search, so it's not good enough.
What's the
And even if it searched, it wouldn't be good enough.
You're never paying 2 to draw a card. Never.
Yeah.
But which card does have that effect? The Nisekoi free fresh or the Nisekoi free fresh, right?
What's the fortune for this year? Madoka and Homura. 0/0 1500 power character. Global 500 to all your magic characters. When you trigger check a climax card, you can look at the top card of your library and put it in your top or bottom. Top or waiting room.
It's unfortunate this doesn't work with gold bars and bags the way you want it to work.
No. Yeah, you resolve the gold bar and gold bag blind stock before you use this square. Meh. Even if it did that, you wouldn't run this card. So,
yeah,
still not high enough impact.
This is just like a global, right?
Bars and then this.
A global with
does what you want it to do.
A global with like
some
very
extra,
marginal upside.
Some extra text sometimes.
Not good enough to run.
Yeah.
In most.
Nice art.
Kanoko Yayoi, 0/0 2500 power character. During your clock phase, you can't put a climax card from your hand and clock it in order to draw cards, so you can clock it. but you won't draw cards.
Is that how it works?
Is that how it works? I don't know. Well, the next card
I
is
think you just can't clock climaxes.
okay. So
Yeah.
and then it's a top deck filter. When you play it, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a magic character, you add it to your hand and ditch a card.
I think
This
is
is
like a fine card
not.
because the
Is
first
it? It's like okay, but like
the downside's almost never gonna come up
that's true.
because it's not really gonna be living most turns.
Is this better?
So it's just an overspec
like
hand
when
top
you,
deck
when you want
filter.
to get rid of climaxes, like playing this gets rid of climaxes. So and it also
It-
almost never survives. So
Well, it has the potential to get rid of
Yeah.
climaxes.
it's like a better turn one play than a lot of hand filters because it's 2/5.
Yeah, but this deck, the deck also has a ditch CX salvage. You could just play that as
Yeah.
your CX out inside of this,
Yeah.
and not have to worry about the fail cases.
And you don't need
Yeah.
green that much, I guess.
Yeah.
In this kind of deck, you have Ricky and stuff. It's an
It's a
okay
bit
top deck
whatever.
filter. Yeah, you
Alright.
don't like that downside.
Yeah.
I see. Are you better?
Yeah.
I've been listening. I just had to do something quickly over here. That's why I've been filling in the
Sure.
grades. Yeah, I can do stuff again.
Okay.
All right, next card, Emiri Kisaki. It is a 2,500 power that gains 1,500 within one or fewer other characters. So it's a 4K if you have basically nothing else. Well, you have one character other than this.
Yeah.
Fine turn
It's
one play.
it's a fine 4K.
I think it's
think
worse
this
than the
is
other
worse
4K.
than the yellow one.
Yeah.
What did we give the Tsuruno?
I
B.
gave
So
it a
then I have to
B
give this a B minus.
plus.
It's only worse than that one because it doesn't fix the color as much. I don't think it's actually much worse.
No, I think being like
I think
you
this
want to try
downside is
field.
actually pretty bad, right? If you wanted to play
Yeah.
Brainstorm or something or some other kind of card, who knows, right?
Or if you just try fielding.
Sure,
Yeah.
if you try fielding, then at that point your 4K is probably going to die the next turn anyway.
Probably, but not always.
It's often enough that I don't think it's a big deal. Like if sure, if you can raise a fuss about the
You also
original-
can't kill the opponent's card anymore if you try field, right?
If they have a number size,
Okay,
sure.
but
Yeah.
that only really matters if they're like try fielding as well. Otherwise, and oftentimes.
Wait, why
people
does
just
it
do
only
kill
matter
it.
if
Well,
they
killing
try
their card is
field?
important, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's as important as the damage damage economy advantage you get. So
Sure.
I rate most 4Ks about the same. It's about a B. I'm not really that fussed about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Next card is just a 1/0 vanilla counter.
Set has a 2K counter.
Set
Cards
also
are
has a
relevant.
1/0 1500 counter with shift. Thonking.
So basically, this is not necessary.
Yeah.
It is
What's
a
the second trade? Heal? Heal? Okay.
yeah, it's heal. Okay.
Oh, this is
next
that.
card is
This is that card.
the other one. Hazuki Yusa. Come to play, give something 1/5, and it can't side attack.
You
Demons.
you stock charged it this with 0.
Hey, it's a
Giving
fine
1/5
power pump.
is-
It's a
Yeah,
fine
giving
power
1/5
pump.
is not nothing. That's totally reasonable. I'm just gonna give it a C.
There's a
Look, it-
500 global that is sack self to pump 2K. And there's a like a rest self to pump 1500.
sure, but you can have this in addition to those anyway.
Yeah.
And this is also a 6/5 in a pinch, which is totally reasonable. It's not a problem. Yeah, it's a underwhelming card, but not one that I'd call bad by any. Alright. Next card, Konomi Haruna. Is a 1/0/5/5 up to once a turn. When you use a startup effect, this gains 1/5 for the turn, and when it is reversed, your opponent may draw a drop.
Feels bad.
I mean, this is pretty good with startup effects. This profile in general is just quite good at dealing with other level ones.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not
the
sure
payoff
this card
isn't
is
there,
actually
right?
like you
this
can
kind of
play a
games.
6/5. Like you can play a 6/5 that makes you draw a drop, or you can play a 7K that makes the opponent draw. So I think the 6/5 that makes you draw drop is a little better.
Madoka just doesn't really get much by playing a wall game anyways, so I don't think this really does anything.
Mm. It might
What
be
did I
good
get
with
the
the.
other one?
I mean, it's
Mm.
alright with the stocks, right? Okay. Next character. Oh wow, they're not paying attention to flavor anymore. Hinano Miyako. It's a 2/19K. It gets -1 level in hand if you have 4 more other magic characters, and it is a level 0 on stage for, well, it's for the front row matching thing and also for the drawback.
So it's a
It's only got 1 soul.
1/9K.
Yeah, it's
No, it's a
it's
0/19K.
a
But
0
you can't
1
play the
9K.
level 0.
I just want to point out that this character has the support trait despite being nothing of the sort. And that upsets me a little bit. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. It's 119K beta. I'm already sometimes in for 118Ks if they have like encore or something. 119Ks are they're probably fine.
Probably won't do it,
The
honestly.
issue is the opponent can just side this, right?
That's
It's
fine.
not really doing its job as a wall.
Oh, I mean, it's plussing you.
I think it.
I think like the plus from the fields is like half of the what you want out of a
Is
wall.
there a cross turn level card?
Yeah, there's
the blue one, the blue
blue
2/1
assist.
assists.
No, not the 2/1.
Wait,
There's
no,
even a
isn't
0/0.
there a global? I don't know.
Yeah, there's a global blue one that pumps 1 level until
Oh,
end
the
of
beach
opponent
one.
turn.
Yeah, the beach one.
There you go. Seems fine.
Yeah, I guess that's okay with the card.
Next card.
Next card is Madoka's Note. This is our first event for green. It's a so I thought this was way better than it actually is. This is a 1/1 green event. If you are level 1, choose a magic character in your waiting room, add it to hand. If you are level 2, choose one of your opponent's characters and return it to hand. And if you're level 3, choose a magic character in your clock and return it to hand. So these are not additive effects. These only happen when you are the relevant level. So if you're level 1, it's a salvage event. If you're level 2, this is a bounce event. And if you're level 3, this is a heal cantrip. All 3 of those are actually really decent effects. Like, level 2, you
Although
bounce
the
no
1/1
replay.
kind of sucks, but the other
It's
two are
fine.
good.
The level 1/1 is fine. It's not great, but if you need to, then you have an access to a salvage. Level 3/1 is obviously quite good. Level 2/1 is obviously quite good for tempo reasons. Level 3 is for healing reasons.
Why couldn't this card just say if you're like level X or lower? Why is it locking the event? Why is it locking the effects?
Because we're not Project Diva.
Because all of these effects are actually quite strong, and they don't want you to have the choice of all of them, I guess. And it'd be very difficult to template that you'd have the choice. Well, I guess it wouldn't be too difficult to template, but
You just say if you're level 1 or lower, you can. Oh no, it would be a little harder to template. Okay, yeah,
it would be.
yeah.
It would just be if you're level 1 or if
If you're
choose
level
one of
1
the
or
things.
higher, choose one of
Yeah, you
these
just
3
have to say
effects. If you're level 1 or
choose
higher, 2 or
choose
higher,
one of the following
3
effects. Yeah, just choose one of the following effects and then template the requirements in the effects themselves. Yeah, this is powerful because not only is it somewhat versatile, like it's a card that does multiple things, maybe not all at the same time, but it can do multiple things. And it's one card, and these effects are actually reasonable. They're not like terrible effects. Like if the level 1 was say, give all your characters 1k, and if the level 3 one was like choose an opponent's character, it loses 1k. It doesn't have any terrible effects on it, and that's what I think makes this one better. So I'm gonna give it a B. Everyone else seems to be mostly in agreement. Oh god.
Yes. Yes.
So this card is a stupid meme.
1,000-folded Nippon Steel, baby.
B for baller.
I want to become one's protector. Counter. Put the top 2 cards of your deck in the waiting room. If there are no climaxes in those 2 cards, deal 4 damage to your opponent and choose a character. That character cannot deal damage to players for the turn.
Wow,
so
nice big box you got there, dude.
most of the time. Oh, that's why he needed the box. Most of the time, this is actually pretty powerful. It's burn 4 and anti-damage. The
Some of
other,
the
Is
time.
like,
it most
I
of the
don't
time?
Some of the time.
it,
It is
it
not
is
most of the time.
absolutely.
It is
No,
not
it has
most
got
of
to
the
be
time.
most of the time, unless your deck is more than half climaxes.
Uh,
Like, when is your deck that
Maybe
many
it's
climaxes?
barely over 50%. I don't know, man.
Yeah, when I say most, I mean over 50%. My guess is around 60%. But because here's the thing. This is one of those cards that punishes you for playing well. If you compress really well and you're going to naturally cancel a lot,
Oh.
Well, then you wouldn't need
Less.
this, right?
Well, if you're at 8 and 25, it's 45%.
either 8 and 25.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. What about 8 and 30, which is okay, not well.
53%.
Yeah,
1830
sure.
is pretty shit.
I mean, it's often what happens if you play a bunch of
Yeah.
stock and then refresh
Sure.
again.
It's
Like,
also not
because
that great. It's like a 53%
yeah,
chance. It's like not
agreed.
that much of
Okay,
an
sure.
increase.
So it's 53%. So I'm going to give this an F then. This card sucks. The
So
percentage chances of you milling 2 non-climaxes, it is actually above 50% if you have mediocre compression, but if you have
it
good
is
compression,
such huge variance between the
The
fail and the
either
success. It is like this is like you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the 1-0
The Milky Holmes.
1-0
Milky
narrow
Holmes
combo. It's like
Yeah.
either you totally just
Destroy
dumpster the
your
guy,
opponent, or you get
or you just lose a cancel and you
Yeah.
feel really fucking bad.
yeah, look, this baller is probably an appropriate rating. You'd have to be really ballsy to play this card.
You have to become
It's
one
just
to protect her, man.
not.
That's how you
Uh,
protect her. You become a ball.
there actually is like first set a Homura that has when it gets fronted you can top check, which you can use with this card.
wow.
Please
Wow.
no. Oh my god, that is a thing you could do, isn't it? Because you've got the that double R. Oh god. Wait, it's
Lovely.
double R or TD?
No, it's
It's one of those
uncommon,
two. Oh my god, it's that long ago, huh?
and it's also
Let's
you can also change into
Oh, oops.
two sort of the like ultimate Madoka combos with the bar, unbeknownst to many people, which summons out that 3/2.
You have created many weapons.
Oh god. Alright, look, that's the last green card, and we'll be back shortly with our overview.